How to become a better writer. If you want to become a better writer, there's some great news. The more you write, the better you will become, so just keep writing. Of course, there are always things you can do to improve your writing. Let's have a look at some ways to do that. 1. Become a blogger. Blogging is an easy way to become better at what you do and gain more experience, while for the most part working in a relatively relaxed writing environment. Besides, blogging is also a great way to make a living if you become good at it. 2. Limit your words. Writers tend to ramble on. The best way to keep your writing clear and concise is to simply limit how many words your content will hold. By doing so, you force yourself to think about what you are writing. 3. Outline. When you are writing an ebook, print book, report, or an academic paper, creating an outline is a good place to start. By creating an outline, you can create your structure for your writing. 4. Live passionately. If you are passionate about living, you'll also be passionate when you write. You live once, take it in, wrap yourself in life, and live. As a writer, this attitude will come through. 5. Write, stop, edit. You should do your writing, and then take a break before you start your edit so that you are looking at it with fresh eyes. If you write and edit right away, your brain is smart and will often see what's not there because it knows it should be there. 6. Daily new word. Every day learn a new word. Why? Because it expands your vocabulary, and allows you to keep learning. Trust me, it will be reflected in your writing. 7. Write and write some more. This is particularly helpful when you are writing longer content. Do your writing, stop and come back and expand the content you've written to ensure all necessary points are covered. A little break gives your brain a timeout, and when you return you will have thought of additional content that should be added. 8. Write with no distractions. Nothing will cause your writing to be poor than distractions. You need to have a quiet place where you can let your thoughts flow, and the results will be good quality writing that's desirable. There you have it, 8 great tips on how to become a better writer. Why not give them a try today? 4. Are you the best copywriter you can be? Are you the best copywriter you can be? There are many different types of writers that make the world go round, but copywriters are one of the best paid writing gigs out there. To excel as a copywriter, you need to be able to write good copy that's interesting, engaging, and in demand. Of course, the best way to become a good writer is to write more, but there are many things you can do to improve your writing. There are some excellent courses available to help you become an expert copywriter. However, if you'd prefer some free help, you've come to the right place. Let's have a look at 10 ways to get effective copy. 1. Write good headlines. This is the most important component of your copy, because if you have a poor headline, nobody's going to want to read any further. Your title is your reader hook. Don't forget it. 2. Keep search engine optimization in mind. You can write the best copy, but if it doesn't rank well in the search engines, no one is ever going to see it, which is why it is so important to properly SEO your content. That way web surfers will find your material. 3. Make sense. If you want what you've written read, your headline needs to make sense. From there your writing has to make sense. Readers will read the first paragraph, and if it isn't clear, they will click the back button faster than you can say back. 4. KISS. The good old KISS formula, keep it simple stupid, has been around a long time. That's because it works. Keep your writing easy to read and easy to understand. Use point form. Write at a grade level of under 8, unless you were working on academic papers or research papers. Keep the sentences short and flowing well, and use the words that people are familiar with. 5. Highlight the truth. Writers tend to highlight benefits, but one of the biggest problems seen with writers is that they highlight fake benefits. Rather than making up a fake benefit, don't list a benefit at all. However, most writing can contain a positive benefit if you look at it right, so practice a little rather than just making it up on the fly. Copywriters can make a nice comfortable living, but only if they are good. It's a highly competitive industry, and thanks to the internet it's easy for potential clients to shop around and find the right person at the right price. These 5 tips will help you become a better copywriter in no time at all. 5 steps to a top-notch article. There are all kinds of articles on the web, but a good web article should be between 500 and 800 words, and it should share something, give useful tips, provide how-to information, or answer a question. There are 5 steps that will ensure you create a top-notch article. 5. Step number 1. Create a powerful headline. The first thing you need to create is a headline that stands out and draws potential viewers in. Use clever wordplay, catchy phrases, and make sure your search engine optimize it relating to the article content. For example, let's say you are writing about diamonds. Which of these headings is most likely to draw in the reader? Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Make sure you buy accordingly, or how to buy a diamond engagement ring. Step number 2. Create your introduction. The article's introduction needs to be only a few sentences. It shouldn't be too wordy, but rather it should clearly define what the article is going to be about. For example, buying diamonds can be confusing, even daunting. After all, how can you tell if you are buying a quality diamond? Step number 3. Cover the key points. Come up with 4 or 5 key points that you are going to cover in the article. These points should be clearly defined with a new paragraph. They can be introduced with a sentence or as a subheading. For example, let's look at the 5 C's of the diamond. Clarity, color, carat, cut, certification. Step number 4. Develop the story. Now you need to write to cover each of your key points. This is where you develop your detail. You can include images if you like, use bulleted lists, paragraphs, etc. Make sure that you cover your point clearly and concisely so that the reader can easily understand. For example, you are now going to define your 5 C's of the diamond in detail. What clarity is, how you know what the clarity of the diamond is, how to read the appraisal, etc. This is where you will provide all of the information so that your reader knows how to buy that diamond. Step number 5. Call to action. 6. Finally, you need to conclude your article, followed by a call to action. The call to action is what you want your reader to do after they finish reading the article. For example, a call to action might be click here to find out more, or are you ready to save on that diamond ring? There you have it. Every article should be made up of these 5 steps. Good writers don't infringe on copyrights. If you aren't familiar, it's time you are. There's a great deal of talk about copyright, but unfortunately, there is still huge problems online with copyright infringement. Good writers don't steal other people's work, and they don't borrow parts of it, and they don't just reword it. Many writers are not familiar with the definition of copyright, and the laws that are associated with it, so let's start there. Copyright gives artists and authors the legal rights to the work they create. For example, let's say you write an article on how to be a good writer. The content in that article is copyrighted to you, and no one else has the right to use it in any form without your permission. Copyright applies to music, photographs, software, dance, architecture, pantomime, words, etc. As long as it is recorded in some form, disc, tape, film, paper, etc., it is protected under copyright law. If you live in Canada, USA, UK, Australia, or any other countries with copyright laws to protect original materials, then your writing is protected back to your earliest days. Of course, the onus is always on you to prove that you wrote something and that the copyright actually belongs to you. In the USA, copyright law protects back 100 years. For this article, we will focus on copyright as it pertains to the internet. When you write something and publish it online, you are protected by copyright law. A common misunderstanding is that you must register your writing with the US Copyright Office to have copyright protection. This is not true. You do not even have to mark your work with the copyright information, but it is recommended you do so to keep things clear. Just add the copyright, insert name, insert year, and your material is copyright protected. Just as you do not want anyone stealing what you have written, as a writer you must also make sure you are not stealing the works of another writer. It seems, A common practice online is to simply take the work of another writer and reword it, and while that might not squeak by as not infringing on copyright, professional writers have no need to just rework someone else's work. Professional writers will use other materials to research and learn about what they are going to write on, and then write from scratch. If you want to be a good writer, then make sure you are not infringing on the copyrights of others. 7. Do you know how to write good marketing copy? There are all kinds of writing and many have their own set of criteria. This is especially true with marketing copy. If you want to write good marketing copy, make sure you include the 7 most important components. Marketing copy is much different because you are trying to convert viewers to follower or paying customers buying your product or service, signing up for a newsletter or free something, etc. It is all about conversion. To have successful conversion rates, your marketing copy must, 1. Have a refined keyword strategy. You should have a main keyword and 2 or 3 secondary keywords that will be used in your marketing copy. Aim for around a 2% density with your main keyword. 2. Include a sign-up form where visitors can subscribe to your monthly newsletter, new product information, etc. This is very important because the minute they sign up, you now have access to send them product information and market to them. You have effectively converted your visitor. 3. Networking is important to building and increasing traffic to your site. You can build networks within your marketing copy by sharing links on sites like LinkedIn, Facebook, Squidoo, etc. It is important that you lead people back to your site, to your marketing copy, etc. 4. Article marketing is a very powerful marketing tool. You write articles, submit them to article banks or create a blog where you post them, and then you provide a link back to your website. This one-way link is very powerful in the search engines, so it helps your rankings, and you also grow your traffic because they found your article interesting and so clicked the link to your site. 5. Placing your marketing copy on your blog is a great way to generate traffic. Blog posts are indexed very quickly and you can even ping them, which lets people following your blog know that you have posted new content. Make sure you take advantage of what a blog can do for you. We have given you some great tips for creating good marketing copy, but make no mistake, website marketing requires a lot of work for it to be successful and for you to turn a site into a cash machine. So stick with it, make sure your marketing copy is top-notch, and wait to see results. Be a good copywriter and create effective copy. There are many copywriters out there, but not all of them are good, and many do not write effective copy. Being a copywriter is a highly defined skill. Let's see if we can improve your skills just a little. Practice, it's key to most everything, and it's certainly key to writing good copy, because the more you write the better you will become. 8. Writing copy that is persuasive and easy reading is a mix of an art form and a science. The truth is, if you really want to master the skill of writing copy effectively, you are going to have to work hard. Even as an experienced copywriter, many still like to study and read whatever comes their way in an effort to stay top in their craft. What's great is that thanks to the internet you can find just about anything you wanted to know about copywriting online. So if you spend some time searching, you will be able to find all kinds of great tips and ideas on how to make your writing better. There are a handful of people that are recognized in the industry as the best of the best. People like Chris Bleur, Carl Galletti, Mark Hunteridge, or Joe Vitale, and that's just a few. But the point here is this: if you want to be the best, then you need to emulate the best, because they know what works, what doesn't, and how to create great copy. Therefore, discover who the top writers are and then start to study their material. How they write, their style, and also many of them provide excellent information to help you as a copywriter, so take advantage of it. The best time to write is when you feel inspired. You may have your most creative moments during the early morning hours, late at night, or, you need to figure out when that is, and then use it to your advantage so that you create the best copy you can. Finally, you need to make sure that what you are writing is effective, engaging, and will draw the web surfer in. Whether you are simply providing information or you are selling something, the focus is always to convert your traffic to customers or return visitors. When your copy is good, that's exactly what happens. They keep coming back for more. So, in summary, learn from the best, emulate what they do, and practice lots. Before you know it, you will be a better copywriter. 10 copywriter tips that work. If you want to improve your copywriter skills, you'll want to check out these 10 copywriter tips that are proven to work. Sales writing is barely tolerated by the marketplace, so companies and entrepreneurs are looking for copywriters that have a record of success. Boring copywriting is an immediate failing grade. These 15 tips will help you keep it interesting and engaging. 1. Vary the length of your sentences so that you have short, medium, and long sentences. This will create rhythm within your writing. 2. Make your average sentence 15 to 18 words in length. 9.3. Take your scalpel and cut out those overweight sentences and the words that aren't needed. Keep your writing clean and crisp so it is easy to read and understand. Don't use fluff. 4. Split sentences that are too long into 2 sentences, sometimes even 3. Use connecting words like and, because, or, etc. 5. A sure sign you are a novelist is paragraphs that are too long. Keep your paragraphs short and containing only one thought. 2 to 3 sentences is good. Always start a new sentence when the thought changes. 6. Sales writing requires patience, especially if you plan to be good at it. Readers are also impatient. They want to read and know what's going on. They don't want fluff or long-windedness. They want clear, concise writing. 7. Break up your page's content by using headings and bulleted or numbered lists. All of these make reading much easier for the visitor. 8. Use language that's positive in nature. This means tell your reader what they can or will achieve using the product or service. Avoid using negativism because this actually puts the reader into poorer spirits and they are far less likely to buy. 9. Don't confuse showy writing with sales writing. Don't use words just because they have a buzz and sound impressive. Leave the jargon on someone else's copy. 10. Write in a language the reader can easily understand. Your writing grade should be no higher than a grade 8 on the Flesch-Kincaid scale. These 10 top tips work well, so don't delay and start using them today. Before long you'll see an improvement in your copywriting. There's plenty of work for good copywriters, so just continue to hone your skills and before long you'll be one of the best in the copywriter world. Great copywriters write great headlines. You might be a terrific copywriter, but if you can't write great headlines, no one is ever going to know. Why? Because it is a headline that stands out that leads to content being read. Boring headlines that blend are almost always schemed over, whereas great headlines get the reader's attention, and they stop to find out more by reading the content. Think about this for a minute. Which of these are you more likely to read? Man jumps from 20-story building. Or man launches himself from a 20-story building and survives through ingenuity. The second one, right? That's because the first headline is boring and mundane. There's nothing that makes you want to read further, whereas the second heading grabs your attention. He launches himself. What does that mean? And ingenuity, what does he do to survive? You want to know. 10. This isn't news. Those who have been writing sales copy have long known the power of a heading and that making their heading work for them was tied directly to the success of the sales copy. This applies to all writing actually. Give it a good heading and the reader will appear. One technique to making a good headline is to use keywords in the heading that are relevant to what the content will be about. That will help your writing place better in the search engines, and that means readers interested in your specific topic will have a much easier time finding what you have written. You can be an amazing copywriter, but if your writing is not placing well in the search engines, no one is going to be able to find you, and so your writing will not get read. That's definitely not what you want to happen. So not only should you tweak that headline with your keyword, make sure you have about a 2% keyword density throughout your content to help you place well in the search engines. While our example used an overly long headline, it is actually best if you can keep your headline on the shorter side. That's because shorter headlines are easier to read and easier to grasp, especially online where readers are spending most of their time skimming and spot reading. A career as a copywriter can be very rewarding, and pay well, but the competition is high, so you are going to need to be the best of the best. Remember, it all begins with a good headline. Well, at least that's a good place to start. How to become a more productive writer. Becoming a writer and becoming a productive writer are two different things. The fact of the matter is that the only writers online that make any money are those that are both fast and good. You can be fast and create terrible copy that no one wants, and you can be slow and create great copy but you won't make any money. The magic formula really is write fast plus write well equals make money. What is your writing job today? A sales page? An article? Whatever you are writing today, you need to make sure that what you write supports the subject at hand. So how to begin? The first thing you need to know is how many words the copy is going to be. 500 words is pretty average on the internet, but it can be shorter or longer. The next thing you want to do is look at the subject at hand. If it's a topic you are very familiar with, your job just got easier. Start typing. Yes, that's right, just start typing for a full 5 minutes. Don't look at the screen, don't worry about spelling, paragraphs, grammar, etc. Just type what comes out of your head. You will be surprised at just how much information is stored up there. This is especially true if you've been writing for online for a long time. 11. Set a timer, and when it goes off, stop. Now start to put your ideas into form. Organize them, create your paragraphs, and headings, bulleted lists, whatever you need to make your article work. You can add more content if necessary, or remove some if you have typed too much. You'll be surprised at just how much information you can put together if you just let things flow. Great, but you may not always be familiar with the topic at hand. In those cases, you're going to have to spend a little time researching. This is where having really good research skills can come in handy, because you want to minimize the amount of time you spend learning about the subject at hand. Do some skim reading, make a few notes, and then start writing. It's a good idea to always find out from the client what they will require you to write on before you accept the job, because the cost needs to reflect your research time and writing time, and if it's a subject foreign to you, then you'll have difficulty being productive. That's it, becoming more productive isn't nearly as difficult as you might have thought. Why not give it a try? How much should I charge for copywriter work? There's a great deal of confusion when it comes to charging for copyright work. It's not just new writers that are unsure what they should be charging. Experienced writers often find themselves second-guessing their rates because it is such a highly competitive market. Remember, when you are being hired to write, you are either being hired by piecework, per project hourly, or on a part-time basis. They are not paying for your health care or other benefits, they don't have the hassle of deductions, and they don't have to worry about being obligated to keep you on staff. They also don't have to worry about paying you for wasted time. There's no vacation pay, and no sick pay. They don't have to make sure you have an office to work in, which costs money, and they don't even have to provide you with a computer. So the first contractor that whines that you charge so much, needs to be awoken to the benefits they are enjoying because you work the way you do. This arrangement saves the employer large sums of money, and allows him or her a great deal of flexibility. It's also a good arrangement for you if these things aren't important to you and you love being an entrepreneur. If you are a professional writer and or editor, you should be making at least $30 an hour, and rates that are double that are not unheard of if you have the credentials and expertise behind you. Don't be scared off by the ridiculously low rates that are floating around the internet. Those are not professional writers or editors, and most times English is not the primary language. There's a huge difference in the work of someone asking $30 an hour for their services and someone asking $10 an hour. 12. So how do you go about figuring out what your copywriting rate will be? The best way to set your rate is to decide how much money you want to make in a month. Then focus on bringing that amount of money in from the various contracts that you obtain. However, you need to take it a step further and determine how long each project takes you to complete. For example, let's say you are doing articles by piecework and it takes you a half hour to complete each article. If you are only charging $5 an article, you will be working for $10 an hour. That's unacceptable for a professional writer. However, if an article takes you 15 minutes, then that would make your rate $20, which might be acceptable. The biggest problem you will face you are trying to set your rates is that clients don't understand that there is a big difference in quality, and that they really do get what they pay for. Don't be intimidated into charging too little, because if you are good, you'll get the rate you set. Copywriter secrets you should know about. If you are working hard to become the best copywriter you can be, good for you. Half the battle is persistence and practice. Of course, having some of those top secrets no one wants to share can certainly come in handy too. And that's exactly what we are about to share with you. Are you ready? 1. Write in the language of your readers. While there is a great deal of focus around writing high-quality English copy, what you need to keep in mind is that the writing should be in the language that your reader will be most comfortable about. It is important that you know who your target market is before you start. 2. People are hardwired on how they will respond to certain stories. Understand what type of story generates what type of emotion and what type of action. Use storytelling as a powerful tool in your copywriting to get the reaction you want. 3. Always include a single question that the reader will answer yes to. This will precondition the reader to agree with you throughout your copy, and later you should be able to get another yes out of them when you most need them. 4. Don't be afraid to use personal history and facts to build a relationship with the reader. Empathy is an excellent tool to show the viewer or reader that you are feeling their pain. 5. Think of your sales copy as a conversation that's going down in a bar with your best buddy. It needs to be conversational, sound like it would if you were speaking, and not be stiff. You should always read sales copy out loud. 6. Study other successful copy and learn from it. Note key phrases that are used, how the copywriter makes the sales copy punchy, and how it generates sales. Who better to learn from than the most successful? That just makes good sense. 13. A career as a copywriter takes lots of work, but the rewards are definitely worth it. Boredom is never a concern, and there are plenty of opportunities, especially if you are good at what you do. The internet has allowed for many copywriter positions to appear, so whether you are looking for an employment opportunity with a company or want to an entrepreneur, there are opportunities available. These great copyright secrets will help you become a better copywriter. How to complete copywriting fast. The rate you charge your client is completely up to you, but remember, the faster you are, the more you make an hour. Of course, being fast must also produce quality copywriting. If you wish, you could write faster. You are going to want to read this article. You may be surprised to learn that those copywriters who are working from home are generally not very efficient at expediting client jobs, and here's why. Number 1, they use a laptop. Laptops are certainly convenient, but when you are sitting at a laptop, all day long working, it just doesn't work. They are not designed for production or speed. The keys are far too small, the touchpads are a pain, and the screen is too small. If you are serious about working as a full-time copywriter from home, get rid of the laptop and invest in a good old-fashioned desktop computer. Number 2, improper file saving. You may be surprised to learn that most copywriters have no idea the correct way to save files. They just keep slogging away overwriting the initial file. Then something goes wrong. The file gets corrupt, the client wants something from the previous file, or you accidentally delete the file. If you worked in a corporate environment, proper file backup would be part of the protocol. What you should be doing is saving the file over and over again, every 5 or 10 minutes with a new name, every time you make a major change, etc. Implement a smart file saving protocol and it will save you tons of time at some point, plus it will help you stand out against the competition. Number 3. Poorly organized files and documents. Many copywriters have a very poor way of keeping their clients' documents and files sorted and easily achievable. Many don't use templates, they don't create folder, their email is unorganized, etc. And what happens is time is wasted looking for things. In fact, if you were to add up the time you waste looking for things, you would likely be shocked. So get organized. Number 4. Forgotten passwords. You know how it is. Everywhere you go, it seems you have to create a password, and so you do. Then later you get back to the site and you can't remember what the password was. It's annoying, frustrating. 14. And a waste of time. But it doesn't have to be. Either use a password saving system, or track them in Excel or some other form where you can quickly find them. Try these 4 tips and you'll find yourself working faster and more efficiently. How to write advertising copy that works. Advertising copy can be one of those difficult tasks for a copywriter. It's pretty common to put something together and then decide it's just far too boring for what you are trying to accomplish, but at the same time you don't want to fill your copy with a bunch of hype. So how does one draw attention and find the middle ground for successful advertising copy? Glad you asked. You'll want to read on for some great advice on creating advertising copy that works. There's no question that writing copy that's good can be challenging. To begin with, it's a good idea to understand the product you are writing about. It will make it much easier for you to promote it if you know at least what its highlights or perks are. You know the things about it you are going to promote in your ad copy. When you are writing ad copy, the object is to get the reader to respond in a specific way, buy the product, sign up for the newsletter, volunteer for the event, etc. This is also where a great deal of ad copy falls down. The copywriter does a great job of promoting the product/service but then forget the hook at the end that's going to convert the reader to a customer. And at the end of the day, it is all about conversion rates. Once you have written your ad copy, you need to ask yourself, does my ad copy stand out? Will it get noticed? Is it richer, better, sexier than the competition's? If the answer is yes, great, you are on the right path, but if you answered no, you'll need to go back and work on your ad copy some more. Whatever you are selling, there's probably a dozen other people selling the same thing, so you have to be able to make your ad more appealing, without just filling it with a bunch of hype, and you certainly don't want to be dishonest in what you are saying. Let's look at an example. Let's say you are writing ad copy for an ebook that you will be selling about writing ad copy. You create ad copy that says, "Learn how to write good ads online." Now there is nothing wrong with that, except it's pretty run-of-the-mill or common, and so it's not going to jump out and grab those web surfers and convert them to customers. Now what if you wrote it to say, "Are you tired of ads that flop? Create ads that sell"? Wouldn't that be far more catchy and likely to convert your web traffic into paying customers? So you get the idea here. In order to write good ad copy that works, you need to stand out, and you need to do that honestly but effectively. 15 tips on writing effective web copy. Is your web copy working for you, or could it do a better job? Be honest. Are you getting the traffic conversion rate you were looking for, or is it lacking? These tips on writing effective web copy could turn things around for you, so make sure you read them all. One of the most common things you'll find if you start looking at websites, is that they come in all different sizes, designs, shapes, colors, and fonts. So what does that say? Well, it says that there isn't one way that works. However, if you look a little closer, you will see that there is some common elements on those that are successful. So let's have a look. 1. A welcoming approach. You want your visitors to feel welcome when they land on your homepage. Be upfront, say welcome to. 2. Establish credibility. Your pages need to establish that you are an excellent resource for the products/services that you offer. Tell them what it is you do and what you offer. Your source. 4. 3. Help your visitor get orientated. Tell your visitor about your site, what they can find where, and always remember to answer the number one question going through their head: what's in it for me? For easy navigation, nothing will have a visitor hitting the back button faster than a navigation system that is hard to follow or understand. So make sure when you are creating your website to keep it easy. 5. Contact information. It is important for your contact information to be readily available. If you don't share your contact information, there are legal ramifications, but it is also difficult for visitors to build any trust if they don't know who you are or how to contact you. 6. Easy process for contact. Make it easy for the visitor to email you, or access live help. Yes, they can phone, but many people prefer email. 7. Privacy statement. Make sure that your visitors know what your privacy statement is. You can use a standardized one if there is nothing complicated about what you do. There are also programs available online that for a fee will help you create your privacy statement. People want to know that you are not selling their information, and so you need to tell them what your policies are. 8. Copyright. Too often this is completely forgotten. But to protect yourself, it should really be on your homepage. Copyright. C. Insert year, insert name of your business. All rights reserved. There you have it. If you are creating web copy for a client, make sure that you utilize these simple tips to create copy that's more appealing and engaging. 16. The importance of proper copy editing. Most writers are not aware that it takes longer to edit than it does to write. They think editors just whip through a dozen pages in minutes, and it's ready to go. Actually, proper copy editing takes a great deal of time and is actually worth more than copywriting. A good copywriter will edit the copy over and over, because they know that copy editing is the key to their writing presenting its very best. This is even more so when it is a book or ebook that has been written. Editing is an integral part of your writing. Asterisk. It will fine-tune the copy to ensure it is easy to read and comprehend. Asterisk. It ensures a consistent voice throughout the writing. Asterisk. It ensures the information is presented in the best format possible. Asterisk. It fixes punctuation, grammar, etc. so that the writing looks professional. When it comes to editing, there are a number of steps. Let's have a look at them. Step number 1, time to get critical. How well does the writing flow? What's the foundation? How well does the writer's idea shape up in chapter 1, and does it continue to properly flow from there? How well does it conclude? You must analyze the writing and then make necessary changes. Step number 2, edit the entire book. Now that you have completed the analysis, you know what needs to be done to fix the weak spots, so that's where you go next. You should read the content aloud so that you ensure the words make sense when spoken aloud. It's a good idea to turn tracking on so you can see what changes are being made. Step number 3, stop once and repeat again. You are actually going to do this step a few times. You'll edit, then walk away from your project and come back and edit it again. You will repeat until you have corrected everything that needs to be corrected. Step number 4, grammar and spelling. Now you are going to become concerned with the grammar and spelling, giving the material a once over, and then repeating as often as necessary to catch all the little mistakes. Step number 5, inject a voice. 17. Once the editorial flow is good, you need to start to pay attention to the writing tone and the style. Read it again and pay attention that things are being said the right way and that the same energy flows from start to finish. Step number 6, format the text. This is very important. It includes headings, font size, etc. to ensure the writing format is uniform from start to finish. Step number 7, the final review. This is it, the last critique. Make sure you have your critical eye working. You should actually have left the material sit for a couple of days before you take on this final step. Your objective is perfection. How training can help you become a better copywriter. One of the best resources available to you to become a better copywriter is to take some copyright training. There is tons of it available online, so you should have no problem matching up your budget and the type of copyright training you are looking for with available copyright training. Copywriters deal with direct response writing where an offer is presented and people immediately respond. This can be done via radio, television, newspapers, magazines, and other newsprint. These days the most common venue is the internet, where there is great demand for good copywriters. If you aren't sure whether copywriting is your niche, there's plenty of information on copywriting available online, at your local library, and at your local bookstore. You should have no difficulty finding solid information. There are also tons of free resources online that can help you build your copywriting skills. You can learn as you want, and improve your current skill level. If you are really serious, you can even register and take a copywriting course. It's important that you realize that this is an industry that is continually changing, so while your learning curve will peak, it will also require an ongoing commitment from you to stay on top of trends that are working and being used throughout the industry. This is especially true if you are working on the internet, which is a very volatile industry that is constantly changing. If you have formal training, that will certainly be beneficial. However, it's still a good idea to take a course or two that are designed specifically for copywriting and/or marketing. You can find these courses offered through a number of venues, and for the most part, they are fairly affordable, so you don't have to worry about having a large budget to reap the benefits. Of course, you can also invest in books on copywriting. Many of these books provide excellent information that is very useful and can really help you improve your skills. If you don't want to buy 18 books, then why not visit your local library? What's great about that is if you find a really great book, you can decide to buy it at a later date. Copywriting is a great career choice. It is interesting, rewarding, and always changing. It can also be very lucrative if you are good at what you do. So don't hesitate to get that extra training to make you a better copywriter. Secret tips to make you a better copywriter. Do you love to write? Are you currently working as a copywriter or hoping to in the future? There's plenty of work available for those that excel in the copywriting field. This is a highly skilled group of individuals, and if you aren't already, you can become one of the elite writers on the web. Here are some great tips to help you do your very best. People watch. You might be surprised that people watching can be of any help to you, but actually, it is extremely beneficial. That's because by watching people you learn how to read emotions, what excites them, how they react to certain stimuli, etc. So when you are writing copy, you can transfer what you've learned into producing better writing. Join a writing group. There's nothing that will get the creative juices flowing better than open dialogue with other writers. You can also help each other with proofreading, editing, and even just to bounce ideas off. Many times there are writing contests. These can help you improve your writing skills. Visit the scene. What this refers to is simply this: if you are writing about a beach, then go to the beach to do the writing, or if you are writing about a baseball game, then go to one and write. Your visual description will be much better when you live it. Reach beyond your comfort zone. If you want to become a really good copywriter, you need to reach out beyond your comfort zone. That's because if you stay in your comfort zone, there is really no challenge to your writing, and therefore no improvement. You also won't learn anything new when you stick to your comfort zone. Analyze other people's writing. Find authors whose writings you enjoy and then analyze them for content, grammar, flow, etc. By doing so, you learn from their mistakes and you are far less likely to make the same mistakes. Monotasking. Writing is one of those skills that actually require focus and concentration if you plan to do your very best. So set a timer for a specified time and write uninterrupted until it goes off. You will be surprised at how much faster you write and how much better your content is. Know the architecture of your story. You would be surprised on just how many people do not understand their story's architecture, which is about the same as doing heart surgery by the seat of your pants and without the right training. 19. There you have it, some of the best kept secrets for writing better copy and being a better copywriter. Why not put it the test? How to become a professional copywriter? Do you like to write? Have you been thinking about becoming a professional copywriter? Then you'll want to read on to learn more about a career as a copywriter. A copywriter might work for an advertising agency or as an entrepreneur. These days there are tons of work available online marketing products and services for websites. You will create slogans, write ad copy, create sales letters, and do any type of writing related to selling a product or service. To become a copywriter requires a great deal of dedication to your craft, and of course you must be a skilled writer. There are many copywriters online, so the competition is plentiful, but don't worry, because if you have a natural talent for this creative type of writing, then you'll find a niche that you fit in nicely. So if being a professional copywriter is what you want to do, then go for it. Copywriters work in a number of industries including radio, television, and online. You'll want to find an area of copywriting that interests you and find the niche where you want to let your creative juices flowing. The fastest growing copyright industry is the online industry, as more and more companies recognize how important good ad copy is on their home pages, throughout their websites, where they are marketing their products and services, in their email, in their newsletters, and of course in their sales letters. Available clients range from new entrepreneurs to multi-million-dollar companies, so depending on your skills and experience you should be able to find a good match for you. If you want to get a job as a copywriter, there are some skills that you will need, including a talent for creative copy, ability to craft stories using words and images, be extremely flexible, be willing to work for less until they've established their skill level, be willing to relocate. Taking a copywriting internship is a great way to determine if this is a good career choice for you. Perhaps you have been writing for a long time, but you've just decided to try your hand at copywriting, or maybe you have never written before. It doesn't matter, because you are going to have to make a commitment to practice your craft and fine-tune it so that you improve your skills and expand your horizon. 20. Working as a professional copywriter is never boring, and it can certainly be rewarding, not to mention the potential for excellent earnings. Writing tips that will make you a better copywriter. If you want to become a better copywriter, the first thing you need to do is be willing to work at it. Becoming a better copywriter takes practice and dedication, but don't worry, it's worth every minute. Let's start with some food for thought. Writing is straightforward, but it's not easy. To get a bigger client list you have to get really good. Until you publish your work you're just dabbling in writing. You cannot practice unless you are disciplined, and have the ability to persevere. Stop making excuses. Before you make the decision to take your copywriting to the next level, answer a few questions. Why do I want to write? Who do I want to write for? Have I found my voice, my tone, my style? What am I willing to give up to better my craft? Great, now here are some tips to help you become a better copywriter and take you from amateur to professional. Write every single day, don't miss any. Make sure that what you write is clear, concise, and effective. Don't be lazy. If you are going to write, then write, and write intelligently. Stop worrying about whether you are a good copywriter and just continue writing. Don't focus on getting published, just write, and eventually you will get published. Write things that are worth writing. Don't write for fame. Write about what you believe in, that way you can write with conviction. 21. Now it's time to begin to build a platform to market yourself on so that you can build your clientele. Be intentional and you'll get noticed. To create a broader audience you must narrow your focus. Learn from other copywriters, what works, what doesn't, what made them successful. Make sure you are always engaging your readers. Intentionally grow your traffic through the use of a blog. Don't be afraid to guest post your writing on other people's blogs. Expect some people to react negatively to what you write, even hate you. Don't worry, just ignore them. If you need help with your actual writing, there are many excellent sites, groups, and forums that can help you. Share ideas, ask questions, and learn. Being a writer means you have committed yourself to a lifetime of learning. It's exciting, rewarding, and it can be financially lucrative for the best copywriters. 12 ways to become a better writer. Are you a writer? Today's online marketplace has a high demand for writers, but the competition is heavy, so you'll want to be the best writer you can be. Here are 12 ways you can become a better writer. Why not give them a try? 1. Look at articles, books, etc. that you have written in the past, and acknowledge just how far your writing has come since then. 2. Every morning write something, in fact, make it one of the first things you do for the day. It's a great way to make writing a priority and improve your skills. 3. Write for a newspaper, blog, newsletter, etc. Write locally, or find an online opportunity. It will provide you with excellent exposure as a writer, and help you improve your skills. 4. When you feel inspired, stop and write. Let your creative juices out when they feel like flowing. Using a journal is a great way to do this, because you can put all your ideas, along with your writings on the fly. 5. When someone asks what you do, tell them I'm a writer. In fact, tell people you are a writer every opportunity you get. 6. Recognize your fears and then work to overcome them. Do not let them stop you from taking on any writing opportunity, project, or employment opportunities. You must overcome these fears if you want to succeed in this highly volatile industry. 22.7. Let what you have written rest for a few hours, and then return with fresh eyes to do your final check. If you don't do this, you are much more likely to miss mistakes when you are doing proofing, because your eyes will see what it should read, rather than what it does read. 8. Take time to comment on blogs that you follow. This gives you great exposure as your name gets out there. In addition, many allow you to include your website, which gives you exposure to your website. 9. Keep it nice and simple. You may already be familiar with the famous KISS formula. You want your writing to be easy to read and understand. The recommendation is to not write about a grade 8 level on the Kincaid scale. 10. Determine what your most productive hours are. Many writers do much better late at night when the world is quiet and peaceful. Other writers are most creative first thing in the morning. 11. Set up a time when you'll do your research so that you aren't having to jump between research and writing. Keep the two tasks separately. 12. Get another person to proof your work whenever possible. This is especially useful if you are writing a book or ebook. If you have to pay someone a moderate fee, it's certainly worth it.